My daughter gave me a pair of earbuds for my birthday. I brought them to work. One coworker, a former veteran, took a look and went pale. He whispered, "You need to call the police." I didn't react. I kept my cool and walked away. But 3 days. When I discovered what she was really doing, I realized that birthday gift was never a gift at all. Hello, friends. Thanks for joining us today. If this story speaks to you, please like this video and subscribe to stay connected with more true-to-life tales. Drop a comment below telling us where you're tuning in from. We love hearing from our community around the world. Quick note, while some details have been fictionalized for storytelling purposes, the lessons and warnings in this story are very real. Any similarity to actual names or places is coincidental. I turned 63 on a Tuesday in February, and the only person who remembered was the one trying to destroy me. Not that I knew it then. That morning, I woke up the same way I'd been waking up for the past 6 years alone in a house that still felt too big. The coffee maker gurgled to life at 6:30. I shuffled to the kitchen in my old Postal Service sweatshirt, the one with the faded logo. Outside, the Carolina morning was gray and cold. My phone sat silent on the counter. No calls, no texts. Most people my age, they forget birthdays once you hit a certain point. You just become another year older, and that's not exactly something folks rush to acknowledge. I heard the mail truck rumble past around 9. Earl dropped something heavy on the porch. I opened the door and found a box with my name printed neat across the label. Return address: Nicole Caldwell, Charlotte, North Carolina. My daughter. I carried it inside and set it on the kitchen table. Nicole and I weren't estranged. We talked, saw each other on holidays, but it had been different since her mother passed 6 years ago. Harder, like we'd lost the person who knew how to translate between us. I loved her more than my own life, but somewhere along the way, we drifted into being polite strangers who shared a last name. Inside the box, nestled in bubble wrap, was a pair of wireless earbuds, white, sleek, the kind of thing I'd never buy for myself. There was a note, too, handwritten on Nicole's neat stationery. Dad thought these might make your days a little easier. No more tangle cords. Happy birthday. Love, Nicole. I sat down hard in the kitchen chair. She'd remembered. Out of everyone, my daughter remembered. For a second, I wasn't in that quiet kitchen anymore. I was standing in our old driveway. Nicole was maybe 7, wobbling on her first two-wheeler, training wheels off. "Daddy, I'm going to fall," she'd called out, panic in her voice. I ran alongside her, one hand on the seat. "I've got you, sweetheart. I won't let you fall." She pedaled harder, found her balance. I let go without telling her. She rode on her own 10 feet, 20 feet, then looked back and laughed. "I did it, Daddy. I did it." She circled back, breathless and grinning. "I trust you, Daddy. You won't let me fall." My wife stood on the porch watching us, smiling. She was still healthy. Then I blinked, and the memory dissolved. The kitchen was quiet again. Cold coffee, empty house. But I had the earbuds in my hand, and for the first time in a long time I felt something close to warmth. I charged them that afternoon. Tomorrow I'd swing by the distribution center, where I used to work, say hello to the guys still pulling shifts, maybe show off my birthday present. That night I set the charging case on my nightstand and watched the little LED blink green. Small things really, just plastic and circuitry. But they felt like a bridge back to someone I missed. I had no idea I'd just placed a listening device next to my bed. Curtis Henley had been through 2 tours in Afghanistan working signal intelligence. So, when he picked up those earbuds the next morning, his face went pale in a way I'd never seen before. I'd driven over to the distribution center around 10, same as I did most Wednesdays. Old habits. Even after retirement, I still missed the rhythm of the place, the hum of sorting machines, the smell of cardboard and diesel guys ribbing each other over coffee that could strip paint. Curtis was on his lunch break when I walked into the break room. Howard and Gerald were there too, halfway through sandwiches. "Check it out," I said, pulling the earbuds from my pocket. "Nicole sent these for my birthday." Howard grinned. "Look at you getting all modern. What's next? One of those smart watches." "And don't push it," I said, smiling. It felt good to have something to show off, something that said my daughter was thinking about me. Curtis sat down his coffee. "Can I see those?" Something in his tone made me pause, but I handed them over. He was quiet, always had been. 15 years working next to the guy, and I'd learned that when Curtis spoke, it was because he had something worth saying. He turned the earbuds over in his hands, slow and deliberate, like he was looking for something specific. Then he opened the charging case, examined the interior, and his expression changed. The color drained from his face so fast I thought he might be having a heart attack. "Curtis, you all right?" He looked up at me, and there was something in his eyes I'd only seen once before the day he told us about the roadside device that almost took out his convoy in Kandahar. "Where'd you get these?" His voice was flat, careful. "I just told you, my daughter. Birthday gift." I tried to laugh it off. "What? You think they're going to explode or something, Mitchell?" He didn't smile. "These have been modified. This isn't standard electronics." The room went quiet. Howard and Gerald stopped chewing. Modified how I asked, though part of me didn't want to know. Curtis set the earbuds down on the table like they might bite him. "You remember what I did in the service? Signal intelligence? Communications equipment, surveillance, tech, monitoring devices." He tapped the charging case. "I know what altered hardware looks like. And someone's been inside these." My stomach dropped. I'm saying these aren't just earbuds anymore." He looked at me and I saw something I didn't like. "Pity. You need to take these to the police now." "Come on, Curtis." I heard the defensiveness in my own voice. "My daughter gave these to me." "You're telling me I'm not telling you anything about your daughter?" Curtis stood up, and the kindness in his face made it worse somehow. "I'm telling you, someone modified these for surveillance. Could be a defect from overseas. Could be something else. Either way, this isn't something you ignore." "He's right, Mitch," Howard said quietly. "If Curtis says something's wrong, something's wrong." I looked down at the earbuds. They looked the same as they had this morning. Small, white, harmless. But Curtis had never steered me wrong. Not once in 15 years. "All right," I said. "I'll take them in." Curtis nodded. "Today, lunch break. Don't wait." I drove to the Charlotte-Mecklenburg police station on my lunch break, telling myself Curtis had to be mistaken. Maybe he was seeing problems that weren't there. Maybe retirement had me paranoid and I was dragging a good man's military instincts into something innocent. He wasn't mistaken. The detective didn't sugarcoat it. Mr. Caldwell, these aren't just earbuds. They're a surveillance system." Detective Romero was maybe mid-50s with gray at his temples and the kind of steady voice that came from 20 years of delivering bad news. His office was small, cluttered with case files. I sat across from him, the earbuds between us on the desk. I'd explained everything: the birthday gift, Curtis's warning, the feeling that something was wrong. Romero listened without interrupting. When I finished, he picked up the earbuds carefully. "I'm going to have our tech guy take a look. It'll take a few minutes." He left me alone in that office for 20 minutes. Part of me still hoped Curtis had been wrong. The door opened. Romero came back with a younger guy carrying a laptop. "Mr. Caldwell, this is our digital forensic specialist." The tech guy's expression told me everything before he spoke. "These have been modified," he said. "Audio capture, location tracking, remote activation. Someone can listen to everything within range. They can see where you go when you're home, when you're not." The room tilted. I gripped the armrests so someone could hear me. My voice came out hoarse. "Everything I say, everything," Romero said quietly. "Every conversation, every phone call, every word when you're wearing them. I thought about last night talking to myself in the kitchen. All the small private thoughts a man has when he thinks he's alone. My daughter gave these to me." I looked at Romero. "You think she—" "I don't think anything yet," Romero said. "But listen carefully. Do not confront her. Not yet." "What?" "If you confront her now, she'll deny it, get angry. Then whatever she's planning goes underground. We'll never know what this is about." He leaned forward. "Right now, she doesn't know. So what do? You act normal. You wear the earbuds. You talk. You go about your life, see how she reacts. We need evidence, Mr. Caldwell. We need to know what she's planning." My hands were shaking. "People don't do this for curiosity," Romero said. "There's a bigger plan here. Money, property, access to something. We'll figure it out, but I need your help." I thought about Nicole. About her mother gone 6 years now. About the little girl on the bicycle. "All right," I said. "I'll do it." Romero slid the earbuds back across the desk. "Take these home. Charge them. Wear them tomorrow. Call me if anything happens." I picked them up. They felt contaminated somehow, but I put them in my pocket. That night, I set them on my kitchen counter and stared at them for an hour. Small, white, harmless looking. But they weren't harmless. They were a weapon I'd welcomed into my home. The coffee maker hummed in the corner. The refrigerator clicked on and off. Normal sounds in a house that didn't feel normal anymore. I thought about Nicole's note. Thought these might make your days a little easier. I made a decision that night sitting alone in that kitchen. If my daughter wanted to listen to me, I'd give her something to hear. I'd play along. I'd feed her exactly what she wanted to hear, and I'd watch how she moved. It was the decision that would save my life. I put them in my ears Thursday morning and started talking to myself like a man who'd forgotten he wasn't alone. The earbuds fit easily, comfortable. That made it worse. I moved around the kitchen, making coffee, letting my thoughts spill out. Thinking about selling that rental property, Susan left me, I said to the empty room. Susan was my wife. The duplex was real. I'd been holding on to it out of sentiment. Market's good right now. Probably time. I paused, poured cream. Should probably update my will too. Estate planning, getting to that age. The words tasted bitter, not because they were lies, but because I was saying them for an audience I couldn't see. I went about my morning, read the paper, fixed the loose hinge on the bathroom cabinet. Normal things. But the whole time I felt those earbuds like insects burrowing. My phone buzzed just before noon. Nicole. Hey Dad. Random thought. Are you thinking about selling the rental? We should talk about estate planning too. My hands went cold. I'd spoken those exact words 3 hours ago, alone in my kitchen. And now here they were, reflected back through my daughter's message. Too fast, too specific. I stared at the screen for a full minute. Maybe, still thinking about it. 3 dots appeared immediately. I could help if you want. These things can get complicated. Love you. I set the phone down. Everything had changed. The doorbell rang around 6 that evening. Nicole stood on my porch holding 2 bags from the barbecue place on Central Avenue, smiling like this was the most natural thing in the world. I was in the neighborhood. Thought I'd bring dinner. She hadn't been to my house unannounced in over a year. We ate at the kitchen table. She asked about my day, my sleep, the guys at the post office, small talk with hooks in it. How are you feeling lately? She cut her pulled pork carefully. Last week on the phone you sounded tired. I'm fine. At your age, Dad, it's smart to think ahead. Health, finances. She smiled. It's what Mom would have wanted. There it was. At your age, like I needed managing. Memory. Okay, she asked casual as breathing. Tuesday, you forgot to call me back. I hadn't forgotten anything. I'd never promised to call, but she said it like fact, like my memory was already unreliable. I saw it then clear as glass. She wasn't just listening. She was building a case. Every word, every invented forgetfulness, every planted seed, she was constructing a version of me that didn't exist yet. A version that needed help that couldn't manage alone. Yeah, I heard myself say. Guess I have been a little foggy lately. Her smile widened just a fraction. It's okay, Dad. That's what I'm here for. After she left, I found myself checking the locks once, then again, because I wasn't sure. But I knew I had my own daughter, the girl I'd raised alone after her mother died. The one I'd taught to ride. A bicycle to drive a car. And here I was locking my doors against her. I looked at the earbuds in their charging case. She was listening. She was watching. And she was already 3 steps ahead. By Saturday afternoon, I'd spent 2 more days feeding Nicole lies through those earbuds. Then I found the truth in the last place you'd expect to hide a plan to erase someone, a folder in my own basement filed under H for home maintenance. Friday, I'd mentioned forgetting to pay the electric bill. Lie. Within 3 hours, Nicole texted asking if I needed help with automatic payments. Saturday morning, I said I felt dizzy getting out of the car. Another lie. She called by noon, concerned about my health. Each time I spoke into the void of my own kitchen, she responded like clockwork. Maybe I do need someone to help manage things, I'd said that morning. The words made me sick. By 2, the furnace started grinding. Real problem this time. I grabbed a flashlight and headed to the basement. The space smelled like concrete and old cardboard. The furnace, squatted in the corner. Minor issue, just needed adjustment. I'd need the warranty information though. I went to the old filing cabinet against the wall. Gray metal dented, hadn't opened it in months. The drawer stuck, then gave with a rusty squeal. Insurance papers, tax returns from the 90s, dishwasher manual from a decade ago. And then near the back, something that didn't belong. A folder, too clean, too new. I pulled it out. The tab was blank. I opened it on. Top of the cabinet, and the basement got very cold. Guardianship petition templates, professional headers, legal language and neat blocks. Petition to declare, Mitchell James Caldwell, incapacitated and in need of a guardian. I stopped breathing. Notes in the margins. Nicole's handwriting. Small, neat, efficient. Dad forgets appointments. Document dates. Confused about finances. Get bank statements. Gets dizzy. Witness doctor. Visit more beneath. Power of attorney drafts. Capacity evaluation forms. A checklist for how to legally declare your father incompetent. How to take everything while he's still breathing. I sat down hard on the basement steps. The folders slipped from my hands. Papers scattering across concrete. And then I wasn't in the basement anymore. I was in our driveway on a Sunday morning. Nicole was 8 on her first real bicycle, training wheels off, her knuckles white on the handlebars. Daddy, I'm going to fall. I ran beside her, hand on the seat. I've got you, sweetheart. I won't let you fall. She pedaled harder, found her rhythm. I let go. She rode 10 feet 2,030 before she realized. When she looked back and saw me standing there, she laughed. I did it, Daddy. I did it. She circled back, threw her arms around me. I trust you, Daddy. You won't let me fall. Susan stood on the porch in her yellow sundress, holding up the camera, smiling. Perfect shot. Nicole looked up at me, gap-toothed grin, eyes full of faith. You'll always catch me right. Always, I'd promised. I came back to the present on those cold basement steps. The furnace hummed. The house creaked. I was alone, with a folder full of forms designed to make me disappear. That little girl who trusted me, she wanted to take away my right to speak for myself, to decide where I lived, what I did with my money, whether I could drive or sign my own name, not steal my possessions, steal my personhood. I gathered the papers with shaking hands, stood up, legs unsteady. I climbed those basement steps, carrying my daughters. Planned to erase me. This wasn't just surveillance anymore. This wasn't even about money. This was identity theft in its truest form. This was taking my life without laying a hand on me. The call I made to update my mailing address on Monday morning should have taken 3 minutes. Instead, it took 3 minutes to realize I'd already been erased. But that wasn't where it started. Sunday, I'd driven to the First Union Bank on South Tryon, the one I'd used for 30 years. Just a routine errand deposit, check about interest rates, normal things. Except, nothing felt normal anymore. Jordan, the loan officer, was maybe 30. Friendly kid. Always asked about retirement, how I was adjusting. When I mentioned on needing to review my accounts, he pulled up my file. Oh, hey, Mr. Caldwell. Someone called last month asking about your home equity line eligibility. A woman said she was helping her father manage things. My coffee went cold in my hand. I didn't authorize anyone to call about my accounts. Jordan's smile faltered. She mentioned you were considering granting her authority to help with financial planning. I never said that. He shifted in his seat, suddenly uncomfortable. I can flag the account. Make sure no information goes out without your direct approval. Do that. I left the bank with my chest tight. She wasn't just listening. She was already moving. Monday morning, I called my insurance company. Routine call. I'd changed my mailing address after Susan passed. Kept forgetting to update it with everyone. The agent who answered was chipper professional. Of course, Mr. Caldwell. Let me pull up your policy. Oh, and we have that beneficiary change from a few months back on file, so you're all set there. I was pouring coffee. I stopped mid-pour. What change? The beneficiary update, 4 months ago. Changed from your estate to Nicole Caldwell, your daughter. Papers rustled on her end. We have the notarized form with your signature right here. The kitchen tilted. I never signed anything. Silence on the line. Long, heavy silence. Sir, we have a witness notarized document. It's forged. My voice came out flat cold. I'm reporting this as fraud. Mr. Caldwell. How much is the policy worth? More rustling. $250,000. I set the coffee pot down before I dropped it. A $4 million written in my daughter's name, with a signature that wasn't mine. "I'll need to speak with your fraud department," I said, "and I'll be filing a police report today." By 2 that afternoon, I was back in Detective Romero's office. I slid the guardianship folder across his desk, then pulled out the insurance policy information I'd printed. Romero read through it slowly, his expression darkening with each page. $250,000, he said quietly. "That's serious motive, Mr. Caldwell. She forged my signature, got it notarized, the whole thing. We'll subpoena the documents, find out who witnessed it." He set the papers down and looked at me. "There's something else you should know." He turned his computer monitor toward me, pulled up a file. Photo of a man I'd never seen, dark-haired, good-looking, in that smooth way that never sat right with me. 30-some, confident smile. Derek Nash, age 34. Romero clicked through screens. Arrest record out of Raleigh. Financial exploitation of an elderly victim. Previous girlfriend's grandfather. My stomach dropped. Previous girlfriend. Charges were dropped after the victim passed away. Family settled out of court. Didn't want to pursue it. Romero's eyes met mine. "Mr. Caldwell, this is your daughter's boyfriend, and he's done this before." I stared at the photo. This stranger who'd been circling my life without me knowing. Who'd found my daughter? Or had she found him? "You think he's helping Nicole?" I asked. "Or is Nicole helping him?" Romero leaned back in his chair, looked at me with something that might have been pity, might have been respect. "Hard to tell." "Does it matter?" he said. "Either way, they're both coming for everything you have." I heard Dirk's voice for the first time on a Tuesday evening, exactly 1 week after my birthday. And in 30 seconds, I understood everything. I was sitting in my living room wearing the earbuds, pretending to watch the news. The television murmured about weather and traffic, but I wasn't listening. I'd been wearing those things every evening, waiting. Then, through the earbuds, I heard a phone ring. Not mine. Nicole's. A male voice, sharp and impatient. "Did he sign yet?" Nicole's voice tight with stress. "Not yet, Derek. He's being careful." I stopped breathing. "We're running out of time." Derek's voice had that smooth quality some men use when threatening you. "My creditors aren't waiting anymore. The gambling debts, Nicole. The people I owe don't care about your feelings." "I'm trying," Nicole said. I got him the earbuds. I planted the estate planning idea. "Try harder." His voice went cold. "You still owe me $30,000. Your failed business. Your maxed out credit cards. That's not my problem." I heard Nicole start to cry. "Derek, please. He's my father. I hate doing this. You should have thought about that before you came to me for money. No sympathy. Besides, what's he going to do with it? He's old, alone. No other family. Just sitting on all that money. What if he finds out?" Derek laughed. "He won't. Old people don't understand technology. That's why this works. Just keep pushing the guardianship angle like we planned. But what if once you get conservatorship, we access everything? The house, the pension, the insurance. We clear your debts, split the rest, and you're free." His voice softened. "Isn't that what you want?" Silence, then quietly. "Yes, then make it happen. Thursday, get him to the bank. Get him to sign something. Anything. Okay. Don't screw this up." The call ended. I sat there, the news anchor still talking, the earbuds still in my ears. My hands were shaking. I pulled them out carefully. She was being manipulated, threatened. $30,000 in debt, a failed business I'd never known about. Boyfriend who saw my life as a paycheck. But she was still doing it. She'd given me the earbuds. She'd planted the doubts. She'd filed those guardianship papers. Did it matter why I called Romero? "I have everything we need," I said. Audio recording, full conspiracy. Him threatening her. Both of them planning it. "Don't do anything," Romero said immediately. "Let me coordinate with the bank. We'll set it up properly." "I know." "You did good. Hang tight." I hung up and stared at my phone. Then I opened my messages and typed carefully. "Nicole, honey, I've been thinking about those papers you mentioned. Let's meet at the bank Thursday morning and get everything sorted out. I think you're right. I could use some help managing things." I hit send before I could change my mind. 3 dots appeared immediately. "Really? That's wonderful, Dad. I'll set it up. Love you so much." I stared at the screen. 2 exclamation points, a heart emoji. I forwarded the recording to Romero, then read Nicole's message. Again, she used 2 exclamation points like it was Christmas morning. The conference room at First Union Bank on Thursday morning looked like every conference room I'd ever seen. Bland, beige, forgettable. But what happened there, I'd remember for the rest of my life. Detective Romero and Rebecca Turner, the bank's fraud investigator, were already waiting when I arrived at 9:45. The room smelled like coffee and carpet cleaner. We sat on one side of the table, documents arranged in neat stacks, evidence. Nicole arrived at 10 sharp. She wore a navy blazer and carried a leather folder. Her smile was bright, confident. "Hi, Dad. Ready to get everything organized?" Rebecca gestured to the chair across from us. "Miss Caldwell, please sit. We have some questions first." Nicole's smile faltered. "Questions? I thought we were here to sign. These emails?" Rebecca slid documents across the table. "These calls to our bank. You initiated them. I was helping my father. He asked me to." "Interesting. Because Mr. Caldwell says he never authorized you to contact us about his accounts." Nicole's jaw tightened. "He's been confused lately. I was gathering information in case you needed to file for guardianship." Romero pushed the folder forward. The guardianship petition. Nicole's handwritten notes in the margins. Her face went white. "Where did you get that?" I spoke for the first time, my voice quiet and cold. "From my basement where you hid it." Rebecca pressed play on a small recorder. My voice filled the room stage confused. "Talking about forgetting things. See?" Nicole's voice rose. He was confused. "I was documenting with surveillance equipment hidden in a birthday gift." Rebecca placed the earbuds on the table right in the center. Nicole stood up fast, her chair scraping. "This is insane." "Dad, tell them this is a misunderstanding." "Sit down, Nicole." Something in my voice made her sit. Rebecca slid more papers forward. "You forged your father's signature. Changed his life insurance beneficiary. $250,000. Nicole's hands shook. "I didn't. Derek said it would be okay. He said Dad wanted it that way." Derek Nash. Romero leaned forward. "Your boyfriend, who has a criminal record for financial exploitation of an elderly victim." Nicole broke. The words came fast. Desperate. "He was helping me. I owe him money. $30,000. My business failed. I have gambling debts. He said this was the only way out." She reached across the table for my hand. "Daddy, please." I was desperate. "Derek manipulated me. I'm so sorry. Please." I pulled my hand back, stood up, walked toward the door. "Daddy, please." Her voice cracked. "I'm still your daughter." I stopped. Didn't turn around. "No," I said. "My daughter died the day she decided I was worth more gone than alive." I walked out. Behind me, I heard Romero's voice steady and formal. "Nicole Caldwell, you're under arrest. You have the right to remain silent." I kept walking through the bank lobby, through the glass doors, into February sunshine that somehow felt like winter. 2 hours later, I got the call from Romero. They'd gone to Derek's apartment, empty, clothes gone. But he'd made a mistake. Tried to board a flight to Mexico City at Charlotte Douglas Airport with a fake passport. Airport security flagged it. He was in custody. Both of them, Nicole and Derek, arrested within hours of each other. I should have felt something. Relief, vindication, justice. Instead, I sat in my car in the back parking lot and felt nothing but hollow. Behind me, my daughter was in handcuffs. Ahead of me, the rest of my life stretched out. Empty. I'd won. It didn't feel like winning. If you've stayed with my story this far, I need to know I'm not alone in this. Leave a comment below. Tell me you're there. Tell me where you're from. Or just tell me you understand. It helps more than you know. Before I tell you what happened after that day, some of what comes next has been changed to protect people's privacy. And some details might not be exactly as they happen. If you'd rather stop here, I understand. But if you want to know how, I'm doing now. 3 months later, stay with me just a little longer. 3 months later, the gavel came down on Nicole's sentencing, and I wasn't there to hear it. May brought warmer weather to Charlotte. The dogwoods bloomed. People opened their windows. Life went on the way it always does, regardless of who's hurting. I got the sentencing results from Romero over the phone. Nicole received 18 months probation, $50,000 in restitution to me, 500 hours of community service, convictions for fraud, and forgery on her record. Derek got 5 years in federal prison fraud conspiracy violation of probation from his previous case. Nicole's lawyer had called me 2 weeks before sentencing, asked if I'd write a letter to the judge, a statement about her character, something to help reduce her sentence. She made her choice. I told him, and hung up. I changed everything after that. Bank accounts, passwords, updated my will, removed Nicole's name entirely, left everything to a few charities Susan had cared about. Got a new life insurance policy with beneficiaries who'd never met me. Filed a restraining order, no contact, no calls, no letters. One afternoon in late May, Curtis stopped by. We sat on the back porch with iced tea, not saying much. That was Curtis's way. He didn't need to feel silence. You doing okay? He finally asked. Getting there, he nodded. What you did took guts. Didn't feel like guts, I said. Felt like losing. He stayed. Another 20 minutes, then left, and I was alone again. That evening, I stood in the living room looking at the mantel. There was a photo there I'd kept for years. Nicole, at 7 years old, Gapto smile sitting on my shoulders at Freedom Park. Susan had taken it one Sunday afternoon, 6 months before she got sick. You could see Nicole's happiness in that picture. Pure, uncomplicated joy. There was a note stuck to the frame written in crayon. Best dad ever. People ask if I miss her. Wrong question. Miss who she was. Who I thought she was. The daughter in that photo. But that girl, she's gone. Maybe she never existed outside of my own hopes. The woman in handcuffs at that bank, I don't know her. I set the photo back on the mantel. Didn't put it away. Didn't keep staring. Just left it there. Part of a past I couldn't change. I made dinner for one. Watched the evening news. Went to bed early. Lying there in the dark. I thought about trust, about how we build it over decades, 32 years in Nicole's case, and how fast it can shatter. 10 days from birthday gift to betrayal, fully exposed. They say blood is thicker than water. But trust is fragile as glass. I don't use wireless earbuds anymore. The wired kind work fine. They're inconvenient. Sure, they tangle in your pocket, yank out if you step wrong. But they're honest. They remind you that every connection has limits. At 63, I learned the hardest lesson. Sometimes protecting yourself means losing what you wanted to protect most. Maybe someday, years from now, when wounds aren't so fresh, maybe there could be something, some kind of reconciliation, some bridge back. But not today. Not for a long time. Today, I lock my doors. I check my statements. I trust carefully. Today, I survive. If you're hearing this story, remember something. Pay attention. Ask questions. Don't be ashamed to protect yourself, especially from people who say, trust me. Because sometimes the greatest threat doesn't announce itself with shouting or violence. Sometimes it arrives wrapped in birthday paper with a smile and a note that says, Love, Nicole. I turned 64 this year. Nobody remembered. And this time I was grateful. So that's my true story. Not the kind you hear in grandpa stories where everything works out and families hug at the end. This is a true story. The real kind. The kind that leaves scars. The kind you don't find in most grandpa stories. Don't be like me. Don't wait until someone's listening through your walls to ask questions. Don't trust blindly just because someone shares your blood. I did, and it nearly cost me everything. Here's what I learned, and I pray to God you listen. Pay attention to the small things. When something feels wrong, it probably is. Protect yourself, your money, your identity, your independence. Because the people who say, just trust me, are often the ones you should trust least. I ask God every night why this happened. Maybe He's still teaching me something. Maybe He's teaching you watching this true story unfold from wherever you are. There are plenty of grandpa stories out there about betrayal, about family, about survival. Mine isn't special. But if it saves even one person from handing over their life wrapped in birthday paper, then maybe, just maybe, God had a reason for all of it. Stay sharp, stay safe, and remember, sometimes the most dangerous gift comes with I love you written on the